Good morning, friends. Well, welcome back, and it is Wilson 108 again. I'm gonna have another video of him here. I'm tired of hard games. This is an interesting video, very interesting actually. Obviously had a bunch of dislikes, of course, because people just don't like that. And I expect this by the title already, so he's brave to putting that out because gamers hate that, absolutely. But basically he's making the point that if you look back, for example, here Super Metroid, right, from 1994, and the old Mario games, for example, etc. These were very hard games by the nature of their were, and you spent entire afternoons as a kid or like a teenager beating these bosses. But then he said also, now that he played Lights of Pi, for example, he actually didn't enjoy that at all, beating these bosses. There was some sort of, not anxiety, but there was a stress level coming on that he has to beat the boss, otherwise he can't proceed. But he also didn't want to make it easier because obviously that feels bad. It feels like cheating if you make the game easier. So that's basically what it comes down to, and he sort of concludes in the end also with that we just don't have as much time anymore once you grow older in your day. And people in the comments also said the same. If you have your wife, your kids, you have a mortgage and a job to pay off, all that stuff, and friends you have to meet and places to be, etc. You get 1 hour maybe per day where you can play a video game, and you don't want to sit there spending the entire time just beating that boss. You actually want to proceed with the game. But at the same time, if you make it easier for yourself and play it on easy, it also feels kind of bad because you're technically cheating. You don't play the game as it was designed, and it also makes you... It sort of scratches your ego a little bit as well as a gamer, right? Obviously. But I thought, because I noticed the same thing myself, I don't like difficult games at all. I played a lot of them, like back in the days. I mean, I played professional Counter-Strike back in the days, in a clan and all that. You might have heard of My Rush, maybe. I was in the roster. And so I know about struggle in gaming and how to overcome it and come out better anyway. I know that, right? That's not the point at all. But now that I've grown older, I'm 37 now, right? I had a marriage and house, and I have a son. Oh, I've been through all of this. So I was wondering, is this true for me? Because I have all the time in the world, because I'm a streamer. I stream 3 to 4 times a week, multiple hours, 5 to 8 hours, depending on how it works. So I have enough time to play through these games, but I still don't enjoy it. So I was wondering, like, I could not be bothered to play Elden Ring at all because it's super difficult, and I don't care. I just don't care about it. Now, if it had a super insanely good story, I would probably still do it, because I can get through these games, and I did. I played Stellar Blade on hard, for example, and it was totally doable for me. So it's not that I suck at it, but it just doesn't give me anything, really. And I think this is also normal when you get older, because you don't have to prove anything to anyone. You've done your things, right, in your life. So I don't need to prove my EP to people because I beat Elden Ring on hard. I just could not care less, honestly, if anyone did that. If you want to do this, more power to you, man, but I just could not care less, right? At the same time, though, I understand totally the feeling of finally beating a game in hard, or on hard rather, or beating that boss. There is a sort of reward feeling coming from that. And he in this video, Wilson goes over the fact that at some point, if it's just super hard and annoying, it's more of a relief than a reward, and I totally get this. For me, the key difference for me really is, if a game is just hard, for the sake of being hard, that's just annoying. If it is complex, by which I mean you just have to learn the proper timings for the parry, you have to learn how to dodge properly, and what the mechanics are of the boss and how to get out of it. I can see that. That's a lot more fun. I actually enjoy this because that means I actually have to control. If I fail, that is up to me because I parried wrongly, right? But if it's just needlessly difficult and virtually almost impossible unless you perfectly time every single millisecond, that's just annoying. That is not fun to me. So I think there's, first of all, a key difference. But the other thing also is, I think personally, the older I get, and maybe you guys think the same, let me know in the comments if you think the same. The older I get, the less I care about just beating a game for its gameplay, the more I care about getting into a game for the story. I want to know the stories of these games. This is why I play them. I want to know what cool story they were trying to tell, what deep meanings they put in there, what things that could question my own existence and my life that are put in the game, and being the hero or maybe even the villain, what drives them. So there's a lot more. I think this comes with maturity, really, and I'm not meaning to put younger gamers down at all, because I was that myself. You just don't care about these things much when you're younger. You would just want to have a cool game that actually challenges you at the time. But once you get older, I think you just care more about actually what is going on around all this. What's with the story? What does it mean? What is it trying to tell me? What can I glean from that, right? What can I take from this? That is actually what drives me to play games these days. And for a fact, I only play story-driven games with deep meanings on my stream. This is also why I don't play Elden Ring, because there's a story in there, but it's not very deep. Same thing with Path of Exile 2. It's not very moving in a sense in what it is trying to portray or trying to say, because these games are mostly about the gameplay mechanics, and that's totally fine, right? If you want to play this, more power to you, but it's just not for me. And I think this is also something you have to come to terms with the older you get, is that first of all, you just can't play all games there are, right? You just don't have the time to it, right? Because there's so many games, but also not every game is for you. And sometimes, as sad as it is, because Elden Ring actually looks really cool, it's just probably not for me, you know? And so I have to let go of that. But this comes with another thing that I realized, is that I've been guilty of this myself, is that we try to 100% games too much. And I might make an entire video about this, where I think that achievements actually ruin gaming, because we are so focused on getting that achievement, or these achievements, or just beating the game, when back in the days when I just didn't like a game midway through, I just stopped playing it. I was just done with it. I noticed this recently. I've been playing Dirt 2 with my son on the PlayStation 3, right? One of the best rally games ever made, by the way, in vibe especially. Tough to beat even these days, even though graphics might be better, but this game is just amazing. And I thought, I had this still from like 10 years ago when I was playing it, at 78% played through the Dirt Tour, right? And then I picked it up again with my son. And then when he was with his mother again, then I threw in the game and thought to myself, all right, let's actually beat the game and do the last 20% or whatever it was on the campaign. But while I was playing it, I had to play a bunch of events I didn't really like the whole truck buggy events. I didn't like them. I'm more of a rally driver guy. So I was playing them, not really enjoying the experience that much, because I didn't like the trucks. And was thinking, why am I actually doing this? What do I gain if I 100% this game? I did do it in the end. But it had me asking, what do I gain from that? Right? And this is also, I think, another problem that is, I think, coming from the achievements, that we have this desire to beat every game there is and 100% it, maybe not even necessary that, but at least beat the campaign and some side quests and get all the lore that it is. But why? If a game doesn't give you fun anymore, doesn't give you anything in return, then you should stop playing it. Why are you forcing yourself to keep playing something you don't enjoy anymore? Maybe it was great in the beginning, but then you figured out it's just not that great anymore, and you just let it be. And I think this is also part of it, because if you think about it, if you have to play through any game there is, and you know it yourself, we all have a huge backlog of games we still have to play, right? Me probably more than anyone else, because I've been on a hiatus for this for like 12 years or something, because I was going down the marriage route. So, but you have to ask yourself, why do we even do this? What do you gain from that at all? What is the point? You get the achievement on Steam. I was thinking about the same when I was playing Stellar Blade. I have all achievements on Steam for Stellar Blade, right? So now I have, I think, 2 or 3 games on Steam that are 100%. And you can see this on Steam, right? But then again, who gives a shit, right? Who cares about the achievements you see on Steam, right? But it actually takes time away and also joy away from ourselves if we fall for that. So I think that's actually very dangerous, because that is taking the very essence of what gaming is away from it, which is fun. After all, you should just play games to have fun. And I noticed this a lot when I was picking up Dota 2 recently again. I wanted to just have fun with the game, and play my heroes and enjoy it. And of course you get flamed to shit the first second you die. And everyone is just mad and toxic all the time. And I was wondering, do these people even have fun playing that game? Or is it just an addiction at this point? Because you're clearly not having fun, really. Let's be honest. You're clearly not enjoying the experience. So why do you play it? I stopped playing it because it just wasn't fun, right? So yeah, that had me wondering, and this was a bit of a tangent with the achievements, but this comes into the same sense with hard games. Are these super hard games just pulling us away from what gaming is actually about? That it is about fun and the experience and going through these stories and enjoying them? Or maybe just the gameplay mechanics that are new and cool, that's all fine, but these super extremely hard games, just for the sake of being difficult, what do they actually add to our life, right? And if anything, then fine, there should be some games that are tough and maybe some games that are just for the story. And this does exist, right? That's totally fine. But then why do we call people out? And I know this is a thing really in the gaming sphere. If they don't beat Elden Ring, then people are immediately looking down on them as a bad gamer. And I talked about this in the other video about Wilson's girlfriend here playing Souls games for the first time in her life. Why does this matter? What kind of a game someone played? Don't you just enjoy that they are also enjoying the passion of gaming and the stories within it? Why do they have to be super perfect in every game? Especially in multiplayer, this is insane. Everyone has to be superb at the game, otherwise they'll be flamed to shit. But why? Aren't we here to just have fun? For the experience, for enjoying the game, the story, the gameplay, the mechanics. Of course, losing sucks, but it's also not that big of a deal, right? It's just a game. Nobody cares. And if you climb these meaningless online ladders, I have to question your sanity anyway. I did it, as I said, I was a professional Counter-Strike player, somewhat, and like I was not like on the world stage or whatever, right? I'm not going to say that. I wasn't shrouded by any means, but I did climb these ladders. And maybe this is also why I understand that it means absolutely nothing, that it's completely pointless. That's it. Just food for thought. I don't want to give you a conclusion to this because I just want to make you think yourself. You're a grown man or woman. You can think yourself what you think of this. Let me know in the comments what conclusion you come up with or what you think about this. Do you think some games are just unnecessarily hard for no reason? Or do you think it's actually a good thing because you like the reward after beating them? Or is it also just for content creators and streamers so they can put a video out that they beat the Elden Ring bosses on hard? What do you think as a consumer of games? Do you like it or not? Let me know in the comments, and definitely check out Wilson's video. I'm gonna link it below. Until then, y'all have a good time.